Good morning. Hope all of you are doing well. In the previous class, we discussed about the demand forecasting, meaning of demand forecasting, the process of demand forecasting, and the criteria or qualities of good demand forecasting method. And under the methods of demand forecasting, we discussed about survey methods, such as survey of buyers and survey of sellers. So in the current class, let us discuss the remaining methods of demand forecasting. The second type of methods of demand forecasting are statistical methods. So under statistical methods, we have got broadly four methods: trend projection methods, barometric techniques, simultaneous equations method, correlation and regression methods. Let us discuss one by one. Under trend projection methods, we have trend line by observation, least squares method, time series, moving averages method, exponential smoothing. Let us discuss one by one. First one is trend line by observation. That means just by observing the trend, the demand is forecast. It involves plotting the actual data. So the actual data of the previous years is used to put the dots on the chart, and based upon those dots, the trend line is drawn, and that is further extended to forecast the demand for the future period. That is about the trend line by observation. Next method is least squares method or method of least squares. So in this, one equation is used, that is S equals to x plus y into t. So x and y are calculated from the past data. S is sales, t is the year number. Suppose we start with 2000, 2001, 2002 like this. So 2000 is number 1, year number. 2001 is 2, 2002 is 3, like that. So t is the year number for which the forecast is made. To find the values of x and y, the following equations have to be stated and solved. So first equation is sigma s equals to nx plus y sigma t. Second equation is sigma st equals to x sigma t plus y sigma t square, where s is sales, t is the year number, and n is the number of years. Next one is time series analysis. So in this time series, we come across four components. They are: number one, trend, denoted by T. Next one is cyclic trend, denoted by C. Third one is seasonal trend, denoted by S. And last and the fourth one is erratic trend, denoted by E. So some experts or some forecasters, they use addition, and some firms they use multiplication. So T plus C plus S plus E are T into C into S into E. So like that we can see time series analysis is one of the methods of demand forecasting. Next, moving averages method. We all know very much about averages. So we take the total and we divide the total by the number, so that you will get the average. But what is this moving average? So this moving average can be 2-year moving average, 3-year moving average, etc., depending upon the what you call analysis or the judgment of the experts. Suppose if it is 2-year moving averages, suppose the data is like this. Left side of the screen you can see years 2015, 16, 17 like that. Sales in lakhs 30, 20, 40, 50, 40, 60, and 2-year moving total. So before we calculate the 2-year moving average, let us calculate 2-year moving total. So 30 plus 20, 50 moving. So 30 to 20. So 20 plus 40, 60. 40 plus 50, 90. 50 plus 90, 50 plus 40, 90. 40 plus 60, 100. So these are the 2-year moving totals. So when you divide these totals by 2, So 50 by 2, 25. 60 by 2, 30. 90 by 2, 45. Like that, we will get the 2-year moving average. Similarly, for 3 years, so right side of the diagram you can see for 3 years. Suppose if it is first 3 years, 2 plus 5 plus 2, 9. 9 divided by 3, 3. Next one, 5 plus 2 plus 2, again 9. Divided by 3, 3. Next one, 2 plus 2 plus 7, 11. Divided by 3, 3.67. Next, 2 plus 7 plus 6, 15 divided by 3, 5. So like that, we can use the moving averages method to forecast the demand. Next one is exponential smoothing. So in this, it is an improvement over the previous one, moving averages method. Because in the moving averages, no, so there are some errors, like supposing one expert is taking 2 years, another expert is preferring 3 years. So ultimately the goal is what? Accurate forecast. But because of these years, so if there is a change, so that is not reliable. Because of this, we can see exponential smoothing is another method. So in this, we come across one formula. ST plus 1 equals to CST plus 1 minus C SMT. So let us see what is what. ST plus 1 equals to exponentially smoother average for new year. Exponentially smoother. So when we let us take one problem so that you understand this better. Next, ST is equals to actual data in the most recent past. Actual data in the most recent past. SMT equals to most recent smoothed forecast. And C is smoothing constant. So let us see this in terms of one problem. So in this problem, we are given 3 columns. Time period 1, 2. So that means let us say 2000, 2001. So instead of giving years, so directly time period is given in terms of numbers. So next column is actual sales in lakhs. What is the actual sales? It is ST. Like in the previous formula, we have seen ST. Next, predicted sales. So that's what predicted. So to first of all, let us take first 4 years, because to substitute in the formula, so first we need to go for first 4 years. So what is that we are doing? We are adding all, suppose 5, that is for the first year, 5 plus 6, second year, 6.7 third year, lakhs. So 5.8 lakhs fourth year. So we totaled all these 4 and divided by 4, then we got 5.775. That means for the 5th year, actual sales is 6.9, whereas the predicted sales is 5.775. Let us see how this is used for 6th and 7th years. Suppose if it is for 6th year, S6 equals to CS5 plus 1 minus C into SMT. So what is C smoothing constant? 0 plus 1. Sorry, 0.1. What is S5? So just now we have calculated S5. So it is given 6.9 and calculated is 5.775. So 1 minus 0.1. Next, so when you go further, 1.1 into 6.9 equals 0.69 plus 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9 into 5.775. So when we solve this, we get 5.887. That means for the 6th year, actual is 5.1 and predicted is 5.887. Similarly, let us go for 7th year. CS6 plus 1 minus C into SMT. So 0.1 into 5.1. So what is 5.1? 5.1 is the actual for the 6th year into plus 1 minus 0.1 into 5.8875. So 1.1 into 5.1 is 0.51 plus 0.9 into 5.8875. So this is calculated, it is coming to 5.808. So like that, in case of 5th year, we got actual and we got predicted. So from the 6th year and 7th year also, while using the formula, we have calculated the predicted sales. So that is how the exponential smoothing method is used while forecasting the demand. Next, so the second under the statistical methods is barometric techniques. So first trend projection, under that we have completed 5 sub-methods. So next method is what? Barometric techniques. What is barometer? So generally, barometer is used with regard to analysis or measurement of pressure, no, atmospheric pressure, no. But this is different. So what is this barometer? So here one set of data, that means this is called barometer, parameter, relevant indicator factor. So one set of data is used to estimate demand for a product or service. Supposing population is increasing, what does it mean? The consumption also increases. Incomes are increasing. What is the meaning of that? People will go for not only regular goods, luxury goods, maybe villas, maybe cars, etc. So like that here, barometric technique is what? Is using one set of parameters or barometer, and using this, the demand is forecast for another product or service, or product or a service. That's about the barometric technique. Next, simultaneous equations method. So in this we come across number of equations, number of variables. So all variables are considered simultaneously. So in the previous methods, one variable, two or a few variables. But in this method, the specialty of this method is what? At a time, all variables are considered. Like we discussed about demand function, no? Like income, taste and preference of customers, then expected incomes, expected prices, then prices of related goods. Like that, all variables whichever influence the demand are considered in this. That's why it is named as simultaneous equations method. Hence, the set of equations equal the number of dependent variables. Dependent variables are also called as controllable or endogenous variables. So it is a system of n equations with n unknowns. So for our example, at the right side, I have given two equations and only two variables we have taken, but n variables, n equations. So that is a specialty, but of course, so manually it may not be possible. So the computers or softwares like SPSS, etc. have to be used, so that by this method, the demand can be forecast. Next one is, the fourth one is correlation and regression. So what is correlation? Generally, we see no correlation with regard to attendance versus marks, right? So like that, we see correlation. That is, we are relating two parameters, two variables. Income versus demand, price, that is whether the price is increasing, demand is increasing. Or whether the income is increasing, demand is. So like that, we see correlation between the two parameters. So in this, we have got three things: positive correlation, negative correlation, no correlation. If both are going upwards, it is positive. Going downwards, it is negative. So no change, it is no correlation. So what is this correlation? It describes the degree of association between two variables, such as sales and advertising. So just now we have taken the example of attendance and the marks. But here we can take another example in terms of business, sales and advertising expenditure. So to what extent advertising expenditure is, affecting the sales. So correlation between these two is studied. That's about the correlation. Next one is regression. Of course, we come across many types of regressions, but the meaning of regression is what? It is an equation, or an equation is estimated which best fits an independent and dependent variables, or fits in independent and dependent variables. The best estimate of true relationship is generated. So the relationship between these two is generated. Next, the dependent variable is then forecast based on this estimated equation. Like we discussed about method of least squares, no? So like that here we can see one dependent variable, one independent variable. The method of least squares is applied in most regressions. So the most probable application is what? Using the method of least squares, so that no regression can be used while forecasting the demand. So that's all regarding the statistical methods of demand forecasting. So next one is third category. So first category is survey methods, second category is statistical methods, and third category is what? Other methods. And here we come across four such other methods: expert opinion method, test marketing, controlled experiments, and judgmental approach. Let us see one by one. Expert opinion method. Who is considered as expert? The one who has got a lot of experience, right? The one who has got a lot of exposure, lot of knowledge, no? It's like that. During elections also we see experts, so they predict the likely result. Okay, so an expert is, who is expert? An expert is good at analyzing and forecast. So in this context, the one whoever is good in analysis and forecast, that person is considered experts. So usually firms, what they do, they recruit or they outsource this task of forecasting with regard to expert. That means within the organization, if there is a person, even though he is expert, he may be biased. So for that reason, to overcome that, they outsource this particular forecast when they want to go for the expert opinion method. So this method is used in special industry forecast or general economic forecast. Special industry or special firm for a particular firm, so expert is needed for forecast. So similar general economic forecast in terms of employment, in terms of population, in terms of income, like that. In case of general economic forecast also, this method is applied. Next, test marketing. So marketing simultaneously testing. So in test marketing, the entire product or marketing program is tried out for the first time. So usually in India, no, so the companies prefer Mumbai because there we can see potential buyers. So whatever is offered, they readily purchase. And again, Mumbai being the what you call business capital of India, for all those reasons. So what they do, first time they choose one small area, well authentic area or a well developed, well designed area, so that they can know the opinions of the people, whether it is sold or not. If it is not sold as expected, what are the they can get the feedback. It's like that in test marketing. What happens? Marketing on a testing basis, marketing on a small scale basis, marketing in a small scale in a particular area. Okay, the main objective of this method is what? To know whether the customer will accept the product or not. If they accept, they extend to other areas. If the customer does not accept, they do not accept, I give some feedback. So depending upon the feedback, again, they will redesign the product. They will again test market. If it is successful, they will expand to other areas. That's about the test marketing. Next one is controlled experiment. Controlled. So what is controlled? Generally, like in case of labs. So here, experiment is nothing but the society. So what is that they are controlling? They are controlling incomes. So this method refers to exercises where some of the major determinants of demand are manipulated. So what are the major determinants? Like prices. They vary the prices. They change the prices. What is the impact of changing the price on the demand? Of course, incomes they cannot do. But taste and preferences, according to the taste and preferences, the product are designed. If this is the taste, this is the preference, this is a suitable one. What is the sales? So like that in a controlled experiments, they do lots of manipulations with regard to various determinants, and they see the impact of those manipulations on the sales. That's about the controlled experiments. And last method under other methods is judgmental approach. So when is this method used? There are two occasions. First one, the management uses this method when none of the above methods is directly related to the given product or service. So whatever the product they are launching, suppose first time they are launching, no previous data. So in that case, they may use the judgmental approach. So considering various parameters like income, area, population, etc., etc. And sometimes what happens, even when the other methods are used, even though whatever the methods so far we have discussed, like survey methods, statistical other methods, even though they use other methods, but still at the end, suppose method 1 is forecasting one item, one value, method 2 is forecasting another value. Like that, suppose there are 2, 3 forecasts. Which one to choose? They have to finalize. So the prediction has to be finalized. In this case also, they use the judgmental approach. So that's all regarding our demand forecasting methods, dear students. If you have any doubts, you can express. Otherwise, let us stop our discussion for today. So thank you so much. Have a good day.